Hi, and welcome to this tutorial about Footstepper Pro and just an update about what's going on with the package. So basically, just a little recap, the Footstepper Pro is a set of sounds based on the shoe and surface combination along with other types of characters that you might encounter. So the aim is to reduce the number of samples that are needed or the sounds that are needed when making a footstep sound. So if you want to make more realistic characters, we need sometimes characters are carrying things or making extra sounds that the footstep alone is not encompassing. So this is a really comprehensive set of sound samples, and I've included in them each foot sound has about 20 sounds, like 20 different footsteps that are each unique, so that every time the character makes a step, it's a unique sound, making it really sound realistic. So there was a few things that I had some problems with actually when I first released the product. I didn't realize that a bunch of the sound cues didn't get hooked up when I was transferring the project. So to pre- to basically put these projects up for sale on the Epic Games Marketplace, it's quite a lengthy set of rules and restrictions that you have to set your project up with. And I think during the transfer, some of the sound cues lost the references to the sound files. So if you bought the pack before, thank you for the sounds are all there. It's just the random sound cue that I had talked about in the randomized sound cues weren't actually hooked up. They were all set up, but the sound lost their references. So let's take a look at what we're talking about here. So now the I'm addressing that. So in the newest version, they will be hooked up. So all the sound cues will, basically what happened here was we go here for the water and we look here, there's no sound, but the sound is there. So if we go, we can search by hand. Okay, so I can do, this is armor. So A underscore water. Yep, and there we are. So water, step one. But I find that this is a much easier way to do it. So get rid of those and then go down to here to water and then just select all of them. Now I've already got the first one, so I don't need that, but I'll select the rest and then just drag those in there like that, like so. And move them down. Whoops, maybe not. And then we'll just pin them all up. And there we go. So we have all the sounds here set up. Now, every time I put a step, different footstep sound will be played based on that shoe type, which is armor, and the surface that we're walking on. Now, it passed the Epic Games tests, so that's why I didn't realize that there was a problem until I went back to check to update, and I realized that when I was downloading the pack, it didn't actually have the sounds hooked up. So that's now been corrected. But let's talk about this new thing. With this new update, I'm also including a blueprint, and I kind of wanted to put this video together really to show people how to use the set. So it's all these different sound packs, but I've also added now a blueprint which will notify. There's a few things you'll have to set up for your project, but it will notify the ground when your player is walking on those surfaces. So I'm going to first walk you through what the blueprint encompasses, and then we're going to make it ourselves. And then I'm going to show you how to create those physical materials and add it to your scene. Okay, so let's get started here. So this is what's called um, an Anim Notify Blueprint. And to make one, we just go to our Blueprints folder, right? We type new Blueprint class, and then in the all classes, mark search for Anim Notify. And you'll see a bunch of options here, which are, I'm sure this play sound one is actually all that you need. I'm sure of it, but we're going to go with the empty one just to start from scratch to see what it's like, okay? Then what we need to do is name it. Okay, so it's blueprint BP underscore footstep 3 because I've done this video before. And I'm going to go through there. And what we're going to do here in this Anim Notify is this class. The parent class is Anim Notify. We don't have a lot of options, but we do can override this received notify. And basically that just allows us to add a few steps in between. Okay, we receive the notify, yay. Okay, so first we're going to get actor or get owner. We're going to get the owner, okay? And then we're going to get actor location. And then we are going to also get the actor's up vector. There it is. Okay, and we're going to take that up vector and we are going to multiply it. And I'm going to convert this to a float and change it to negative 200. All right, so we're taking all three values and putting negative 200. And instead of typing that in 3 times, we can turn this into one single value that drives all three. Okay, then we need to add this and this together. Okay, and with all this information, so this is basically the player character's location. We're getting the location, we're getting the up vector, we're reversing the direction and going down 200. Okay, and then we're taking that, and 200 is about enough to get us under the ground. So we're adding those two together, and then from here, what we can do is line trace by channel. And what that'll do is the actor location will be our start point. The results of this math here will be our end point. And then from here, we are going to do a branch to check first, did we hit something? Is the ground, we're not falling in the sky, through the sky. Okay, so if it's false, we're going to go straight through. But if it's true, we are going to, well, first we're going to out hit get surface type. And that return value will be a switch on physical type. And this, wait, before we go any further, before you do this, what you need to do for your project settings, and I should have started out with this, is for every type of the Footstep or Pro, if we look at some of these names here, we can see Armor Cathedral, Armor Gravel, Armor Rocks. So the Footstepper Pro is a set of shoes and the surfaces that those shoes might come in contact with, the footwear, I should say, and then those surfaces that the footwear. Then we even have naked, so no, just bare feet. on a bathroom, bare feet in the sand, police. So I was trying to go with sounds that I felt like weren't really covered in the marketplace and could help sound design, game designers the most. So there we go. We got all these different, these need to be added in your project settings. We go in there to all settings and type surface. And when you get there, now you don't need to add all of these. You only need the ones that you need for your project. You don't need to add every sound to your physics. These physical settings, they can be named whatever, but whatever it's named is also you should name. You also have to, after creating this in your, so basically you'll come to a new project and it'll be none. And you can see I added goo there. So we could say plasma, right? And that's a new physics surface. We've defined it. Now we can go here and I've created a folder in the Footstepper Pro, sorry, um, of sample physical materials. Now, physical materials are used for a lot of things. It's not just for sound. They're also used for destruction, chaos, physics. So when physics are being simulated, we can have friction, we can have static friction, restitution, which is the bounciness, the density, the mass to power. So, like, how much is the mass really, the mass of the object affecting the movement or whatever physics is happening. And sound happens to be one of these things. Okay, so surface type physical properties. Now we can, sound happens to be one of the things. So, like I said, for every surface and footwear combination, actually, I should say, every surface, actor, impact combination that you want to have a sound for, you're going to need one of these for. So, if you have, a sword hitting the wall, you're going to need that concrete sword. And both things are going to need to understand when so the sword's going to need to know when it's made contact, and the mesh or the material is going to need to know what type of surface it has. And that's what this physical, material kind of does for us. So it has nothing to do with materials, really. It's just more about like the physical properties of the material. So of whatever surface it is. So it can be attached to either a mesh or a material. And I would stick with mesh because you never know, I would stick with mesh on certain things. If we have a landscape material with multiple layers, then you're going to need to attach it to each of the materials. So for the grass material, for your grass layer, you're going to need to attach this physical asset, material physics asset to that grass. And then if you have a mud and all of these different, each one will have to be attached. But in this case, we are just attaching it to the mesh. Okay, so I'll make another tutorial showing how to do this with a landscape material. But for now, I just want to get people really going with how to use this. So you've gone to your project settings, you've added all of these, added whatever names you need for your project. So then you've created physical material assets for all of them. Now I've added the PM here. So if I go here and go new physics, physical material, and then we're going to grab that, select, and we go PM underscore plasma. And there it is. That's our new material. And then here I can type surface type plasma, right? And it's there. Now, one thing to going back to our blueprint that we were creating, if we'll notice, there's a ton of stuff here. It has goo. but it does not have plasma. And that's because when I created this node here, plasma didn't exist. If I want to create a new one, I'm just going to have to go switch on any physical surface. And if I look at this one, you notice it's got plasma. Okay, so as you add them to your project settings, they're going to need to, you're going to need to re-update this part of your blueprint. Now, then the next thing, so true on true, we're going to go here. All right, so if we've touched the surface, well, which surface have we touched? And then it's just going to choose, well, which one we have. And then from here, we're going to say play sound at location. And here I like to put the location of the actor. So, and the sound asset, well, so we're Armor Cathedral. So I'm going to type SC for sound cue and then Armor Cathedral. I'm not going to play the actual audio. I'm going to play my sound cue, which has my random set of sounds, right? So that's that's Armor Rocks. That's basically how we get set up. The final thing we need to do is actually well, there's few more final things. Now that you've added that into the blueprint, right? You We can now add that to the stack here. But we also need to add it to the mesh. So the mesh here needs to have, in this case, armor trail. And if I look at it, let's look at armor water. And then see that each of the meshes, I just edit that blueprint here. So grab here, and here it's actually still armor water. So I've selected both meshes in this arm, and then I've set them. This is in the original blueprint, but in this one here, and also lost my window here. Anyways, so basically, this has to be set. So that physics asset that we've created needs to be added to the mesh, then, or it can be added to the material. But like I said, I wouldn't do that unless you're talking landscape materials, which you probably are. But we're gonna have to figure out, you'll have to have, if you have different characters that have different sounds, you're going to have anim notifies for each one. So, like, for example, if one character has boots and the other one has armor, then they're going to each have their own anim notify, or if you have a character that can change clothes from armor to leather boots or something like that, right? So there's that. Then the other thing we need to do is actually go to the animation blueprint, okay, and check in our anims. So here, what we've got is this is the animation asset for the Manny. So we'll go to, third person blueprints. Well, it's actually characters, mannequins, animations, and then wherever your animation is. So I'm going to go and do Manny since I haven't done Manny at all, right? Just to show you what the whole process is. So you add a notify track, and then here we can call the notify track anything. So I'll just call it footstep sounds or whatever. And then here we can pause it so it doesn't keep tripping. But you can see wherever those green marks are, that those are another notification for another system that's already there. So I didn't add that. So this is also happens to be when the foot is touching the ground. So we can just right click, add notify, and there's our BP underscore footstep 3. Now I'm going to add the footstepper since that's what I'm working with, but you just have to add this notification marker every time. Oops, not the 3. There we go. And then, it doesn't matter. Like, for example, if you're retargeting your metahuman to the Manny or Quinn, you can just still just um, put this notification on here because even though if you're retargeting the asset and then you're hiding it, it's still making those contacts. So you can just leave it on this animation asset. Basically, wherever the animation is living is where those notifications are going to be because that's part of the character blueprint. So this animation is getting called up, and when it is, it needs to notify, hey, we're making contact here, here, here. Okay, so we'll save that, and then just to show you once more, like we had the water one fixed up here, so this is the blueprint. Okay, so I've also been playing around with the sound attenuation settings. So here I have a sand, right? Armor sand. So I'm going to say play sound, add location, and then I'm going to type SC underscore armor sand. And I can, grab these, but for right now, I'm just going to put this all right here. And I'll do it again. Play sound, add location. Also get that location here. And then I'm going to type SC underscore, oops, underscore armor trail. And like, I'm not going to make you go all day on this, but as you can see, what we're doing again, just to recap, is we're grabbing a line trace, we're getting the character's location, we're taking the up vector and turning it upside down, going down, and then if we're um, getting a hit, then we're going to check, are we hitting any of these physical materials? And if we are, then play the sound. Okay. So I'm going to compile that and save it. And then let's just go and check out what happens inside the editor. So let's put my headphones on. Gravel, sand. Okay. And we don't have water hooked up yet. So that's pretty much, what we're we're doing. Dynamics. And if you heat, those are different version of the same setting. This person. So heal. Okay, so please, if you like this, do check out the Footstepper Pro on the Unreal Marketplace. There'll be a link in the description down below. Thank you, and I will catch you on the flip side.